Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I love it. That's the way I remember the video.
She's everything. Yo, what up, AfterBuzz? It's your boy DJ Jesse Janity here in studio for the East Los High AfterBuzz TV After Show. I don't know if I've ever seen this video. Have you ever seen it before?
No. But I'm so happy I'm seeing it now.
All right, she better get it. All right, I am joined in studio by my co-host, Julian Dujeric.
What up, guys? How's it going?
Unfortunately, Courtney couldn't be with us today, but that's fine because in her place, we have one of the stars of East Los High. We got Karen Anzotegui.
Hey. Oh my God! Ding, ding, ding. Can we get a reward over here?
And I didn't do that pause in the middle.
Yeah, no, you did right.
I've been saying it over and over and over.
Rolled right off the tongue.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Practice over here.
I tried.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me. Y'all are so much fun. I love this show. It's like
first of all, thank you for finding us.
Yeah.
Right, you're all far. I went through a sweat triathlon to get here. Sweating at home, sweating in the car, sweating AfterBuzz TV. Right?
Girl, I mean East Los. Let's talk about Los because it is hot as hell out here, y'all. We making it through this day, and we're gonna give you this episode. It was the V-Day episode.
We're here for you.
Oh, yeah.
I wish it was V-Day because the temperature would be a little cooler.
Seriously.
It will be cool, but still hot. You know.
All right, so East Los High. Hey, guys, I'm really serious. Like, if you have not been in California, it is so hot it messes with your brain. Like, cells have melted.
Yes, the cells.
And I didn't even smoke today.
Well.
But
Well.
okay. Oh, all right. Well, that makes one of us. All right. So first of all, let's talk about this. How did you get involved with East Los?
Well, I was a fan of it. I was like, oh, whoa, this is cool. This is cool. It's a show about East Los High and knowing some of the actors on the show and some of the writers and stuff. But I was doing my solo show, said, at the Los Angeles Theater Center, and I heard that some of them came to see it.
Really?
And I was like, well, what happened? Well, I get a call a year later from casting director Blanca Valdez and says, hey, the producers, they want to see you. I'm like, oh, finally. And they're she's like, in my head, of course.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is it. And she's like, are you sure you don't have an agent? I'm like, no. And I'm like, all right, coming in. And it's like, she's like, this is really weird. And, that's just how I got on the show. I auditioned for it, but I was called in because I was recommended by like 5 of their people, like staff members.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like really, like it was such a beautiful experience to like, have that happen. It's like years of work on your own solo show and being all queer and like saying this is who I am and then being popular and taking off and then getting the attention of producers. That's a really awesome feeling and
absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What is it like going from, I mean, obviously you were telling me in college you did theater, for you, what is it, the difference as far as going from theater to on camera?
Whoa. It's like a whole other, it's like, of course, it depends on the format of television, like what works for you. And you're like, oh, I was trained in theater, so maybe, you have an affinity for a certain kind of comedy or something, but it is totally different. I mean, yeah, you can say what is similar because you're acting.
I have to know lines. Fair enough.
But it's even more like, it's like having a magnifying glass in your face, like, get off me. Oh, you can tell I'm doing that? And it's like I was just going like that, and it's like it looks like that.
Was that a tough transition then? Because it seems like just in you talking about it seems like it was a pretty
over the
natural.
years. I mean, over the years, like I just been, like auditioning. Even though I didn't have an agent this time, I had agents before. So I've been, 16 years of working on my craft and doing theater solo work, particularly focusing the last 10 years on doing solo performance to hone in, to get work, to be a better actor, to be a better writer, to work with collaborators that I'm excited about, to think about, just performing and just exploring that, and then introducing throughout that sprinkled, because I was doing stand-up comedy too, so I was on Latino 101 on it was CTV, now it's Nuvo TV.
Right.
And I was like, being myself, talking about these these types of topics that are in the Latino community and what's common and all that. So it's like, that was cool. So I was just doing different things. I did a lot of also voiceover. So I did a PSA before. I've done like Homie's Hip Hop Show with actually one of the writers and the one who plays my uncle on East Los High.
That's cool. Oh, really?
Rick Naheda. And so.
So you were ready.
So yeah, I've been
this
around.
was like formed destiny for you to be here.
Yeah, I've been around, just kind of like getting my training here and there and honing in on different things, different times throughout the years, and yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your one-woman show.
Well, the first one that I have, the one that got the attention of the producers, is called Set, and it's about my life growing up in LA and in South America and Buenos Aires, Argentina, and what that was like, told through a game of soccer.
Interesting.
Coming of age story. Yeah.
Was Gabe one of the kids to go with? Because we know how big he is with soccer.
Football guys. Football guys.
Yeah, we had that conversation. It was cool because like I practice a non-competitive version of soccer, and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I don't know if I'd be good at that." So it'd be funny actually to play. I've thought about that. I was like, "Oh, no, we could play." But yeah, but it's I was a huge fan of soccer growing up, like, being Argentinian and from Paraguay, like my parents, and like really just that was like religious. So it's like the look of how that like guides life sometimes. It's like a mantra. And what's important, you think things are important when you're growing up, and then through domestic violence also in my life, I moved around, and so that's why I got to live in Argentina, and then having to experience the political upheaval and experience like the protesters in the street, seeing that women being strong and politically like in your face more than it was in at least accessible to me as a child here. And that really influenced me to write about it later in my show, like about how these women were really powerful to me when I was looking for my own voice and not even knowing what I was, because they're trying to put me in a dress, and I'm like, I don't do that. Yeah. But then realizing that gender and sexuality, is one thing, is separate, and exploring that and coming to terms with who I am, and so that's what the show is, like that whole journey of like, going through all these traumas and tribulations and that, and how I overcame them, and how my family like broke apart, and then we were just trying to make it work, being in different borders, South, and I'm over here, and then there's all these other intersectional types of identities that I embody, which a lot of people can't, like when you put people in a box, it's like, wait, you do that, and then James Brown is in your show? Yeah, and James Brown is in the show too, so I play a parody of James Brown because it's fun, because I was like, but it was also mainly because he looked and spoke, and my father were very similar, and I was like, growing up, I was like, he looks just like Dad, and my dad's from Paraguay, and so we had that family joke of like, oh man, Dad's like James Brown, and when he tries to speak English, he sounds like James Brown, because James Brown after a while, after screaming so much, and it's like kind of parallel. Well, he screams on my dad screaming and the fighting, and sort of like playing on this lyrical version of It's a Man's World, or like playing upon that sort of patriarchal, misogynistic view and violence with women, then like really exploring it through music, which it was a way for me to be able to tell the story, because it can't be like, okay, so this happened, or like it's a way I could do it, and it's fun and it's creative as opposed to therapy. So
well, I love that it's very that you have a message behind a lot of the work that you do, and obviously with East Los, we always are talking about how PSA it can get sometimes. Last week we saw you and Jocelyn in class and kind of talking about gender versus sexuality. that was basically, was that how the show had approached you, in which they had saw your work and said, this is the role we'd like for you to play, or this is kind of the conversation that we would like for you to bring to East Los?
I think some of the writers or some of the people that work on the show had seen my work, because I've been doing it for 9 years now. So it's been like, people have been seeing, and so they were like, who would be good for this? I think this person. So it was just like that kind of. It wasn't like, okay, it was like I auditioned, I had sides, and I knew that I was queer. And I was like, ooh, so this is gonna be good. Like I have this like scene with Jocelyn, and the whole she needs me. I'm resourceful, so I'm like, okay, so let's open this door and see what happens. And I'm down. And I didn't know what it was gonna be. I just knew that they were looking for someone like myself, or what they saw in the show that they liked. So I just brought my actor self into the audition, just being what I felt the character was, and giving it to them.
I love that they went to out in the community to find that. That was really special. Okay, let's talk about the episode.
Yeah.
So V-Day.
Ooh.
Maya wants Jacob to come visit her. How was you feeling about it, Julian? I was like, do not respond.
I was feeling the same way. I'm not gonna lie. I just like at this point, it's like I don't know what to say. It's to me, it seems like it's kind of like an ongoing thing. What's the saying that says what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Yeah. And that's what I feel like I want to like reach through my computer screen and tell. And say, I don't know.
Work, honey.
I get very, very, very frustrated when I see that dynamic.
I was more irritated with the father, because who last week was like, oh, you're gonna go live with a girl and let her support you, and then this week he's like, go visit her, like, hello,
flip-flopper.
Now you get some new punan in your life, and now you all over the place.
He sees the benefits.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me.
No, it doesn't. So Gina's mom needs a job. Yeah. She ends up getting a job because Gina's like, well, I'm going to switch out my job at the taqueria for my mom. So she gets a job there, and my favorite scene in this was the cougar scene.
Yeah.
3 cougars giving her a hard time. We're basically calling her a slut.
Yeah.
And then we see when Jacob is switched, how it's like, now my thing is like, ladies, please do not ever touch me. Like, you can throw your little sexy, flirtatious slur at me, fine. But every time, wait, what, honey? What?
Yeah.
What? I'd be like, girl.
Cougars are getting aggressive these days, they have to step it up.
They made a TV show about it, Cougar Town.
Oh, that's right.
But these are the girls they should have made it on, because I'd watch them.
I feel like these are more true to the cougar ethos.
Yeah.
It's those cougars.
It's those cougars. The cougar squad.
The cougar squad.
Telling you. Telling you.
I also didn't know that the taqueria had liquor. Did not know they had a full bar.
Liquor? I barely even know her.
Well.
So Jacob, they're fun with Jacob, and Jacob pawns Zach off on them, or as they say, Zackalicious.
Do we agree?
He cute. I mean...
Ish.
Not my type personally, but like if someone's like, oh my god, this is my boyfriend, I'd be like, all right, I understand, I get it.
I get it.
What I didn't understand was when they were like, oh, are you Jacob's Tio? And they was like, yeah. Like, oh, booty must run in the family. And I'm looking at Jacob and Zachary like...
That's such an awkward thing to say.
Now, if they were white, I would understand the context. Yeah. But I'm like, you're clearly Hispanic or Latino of some descent. You know what an ass looks like, and it's not here.
It's such a strange thing to say. Here. It's such a weird thing to say. I don't know. But that was funny. It's
funny. A waiter, like,
yeah.
And he looks underage.
Yeah, I know. It's so
like
weird.
Everything about this conversation is inappropriate right now.
Yeah, because it's like they're like teenagers, right? So it's and then she's like, oh, and you're like, oh, what do I? But my tia, she's done that at the store,
And it's so.
And you're like, Tio, it's because the hormones they put in the food, mija.
Okay. How much do you, like, when you get the scripts, just die laughing? Because I think this show, they throw the little subliminal things in. Even if you know what I mean? I mean, I'm Greek, but I can still relate to so many things. Like, my aunts are just as crazy. Yeah. My grandmother, I mean, she don't do no voodoo or magic or nothing, but...
You must get a kick out of it, though.
Oh, yeah. It is, like... Because it's just really straightforward, you know, and just like, so we're here, like, but it's the stuff that you're like, you know, like, that's the stuff I talk to with my friends, but I'm like, it's a show that with teenagers, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm like, you know, but it's fun to see, like, that kind of humor and that kind of sort of, like, little, like, undertone-ish kind of like things are throwing shade, like, and it's like, you know, those kinds of things that, like, happen when you're, like, in school or even not in school, and in places like high school is still like that.
And there's no age barrier with it, like, because I feel like they do, like, you know, high school jokes, but then they'll hit you with, like, something real mature, and you're like, whoa.
Out of nowhere.
Because you're about to graduate high school. You got to face these things.
Yeah.
You know,
and they don't hide behind it. You know what I mean? They just put it fully out there.
Yes.
That's the beauty of being on the internet, huh? Being on where you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're telling you this, but we're not having jazz hands this time.
Yeah, right. No, that's the perfect analogy. Because just you get lulled into this false sense of security. Oh, this is such a wholesome what? It's just it comes out of nowhere. Like just when
they dropped the F-bomb in the text message, I was like, whoa.
I've never seen that.
What am I watching? This isn't CSI.
Yeah.
This happens on TV. I thought it only happened in life. And it's like, okay. You know, just some things you're like, oh, yeah, I know.
Well, because it's interesting. The reason why it jumps out to me is because, I mean, this is a television show, and so it has a production value that, especially given how popular it is now, it's increased. And so you just get used to sort of these narratives and these things that are on broadcast television and these restrictions that are placed, and then when they it kind of reminds you that you're not on broadcast TV,
and it's not done a lot. It's tasteful where they do it. It's very selective, and it works where it works. Like, I think we were talking about the Empire with Fox,
right,
and how they dropped the F word, and it was like, but it made sense for the script. It wasn't it wasn't, you know, kind of hiding it or sugarcoating it.
Exactly, and it's also, why should what people of color say generally, no matter what, be criminalized and be like, oh no, bleep that out. Like, why are we always the criminals?
This is a real situation,
so
a real
like, we say this, you know, and you know, and especially like black people say that, right? It's like it's not like, oh, it's, you know, it's like that's part of the vernacular.
Yeah, and I mean, and if it makes sense for the script, it's not like anyone's encouraging people to just sort of haphazardly drop F-bombs and N-words. It's just, you know, if it makes sense for the script and makes sense for that specific character in that moment, then why not use it? It's a storytelling tool. It's like anything else.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about a little more of the story being told, because Felly is upset because Santi is flirting with Mandy.
You have to say her name like that every time now.
Mandy. My thing with this show and Glee is like, I'm not going to get into my conspiracy theory.
Do it.
Because I know I can, like, really go there, but I'm not going to go there. So where I'm going to go with this is, like, a lot of the actors in this are a little older than what they're playing. And so for me, it's like...
What do you mean? I'm in high school. Whatever.
I'll just look at it and I'll be like... I feel, like, pedophile-ish, like, watching the show, because I'm like...
It's like this version of 90210.
Exactly.
Well, from the 90s.
Exactly, yeah.
The 90s. Yes, there was 90210 was a 90s TV show before it was a TV, for those that are watching.
True.
Right.
Yes. It was not on the CW.
Yeah, it wasn't on the CW. Where was it? I don't remember, but probably NBC or something. But
yeah, now it's so funny watching 90210 now is like, what the hell?
What is this?
I'm watching. Why is their makeup pale white?
Why is a 47-year-old playing a teenager?
Like,
question.
Like in the hairline. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was like a 90s thing, Rampant.
So
that was a 90s thing.
Yeah.
Felly gets upset with Santi, and you know, he says, "Hey, we're not exclusive. You know, I want to be with you, but we ain't exclusive. Well, then you don't want to be with me."
Yeah.
Simple as that. Come on, Felly. We need you, independent women.
Yeah.
Destiny's Child. Where you at?
Communication.
Question. Tiffany wants a Valentine's date, and Eddie's like, "Yeah, well, you know, I don't know if IHOP takes reservations." Okay, now
They're in high school.
they're in high school. Fair.
They can't go to.
But like, are they sleeping with each other and then waking up in the morning and then going to IHOP? Because if you're taking me to IHOP for a dinner date,
for a dinner
I'm
date,
judging you.
Yeah, IHOP is a breakfast.
I'm not judging you. You take me in the morning. You pick me up after church.
But what if you really like breakfast anytime?
After sex, after whatever the situation is, I don't know. But if it's the morning time, then you take me to IHOP. But like Valentine's Day. At nighttime, hell no. Or drunk after a club.
You take me to a nice dinner to get in my pants.
It don't even gotta be a nice dinner. But I mean, we could have at least went to Norm's, you know what I mean?
Well, I guess like Norm's a little bit as a hop up from IHOP, I guess. But
I see what you did there. Hey.
But you never know. I mean, I think the Eddie character, he's part Mexican, half like Mexican, half Cuban. Right. So. I don't know, but Cubans I know love bacon and pork, so maybe it's because of the whole bacon thing. I don't know.
Well, he can go to Versailles here. What is it, Versailles?
Versailles.
There we are.
Versailles. I already knew what you were talking about.
Versailles.
Versailles.
John, did you see that Versailles? Let's go there. That looks delicious. Yeah. I think it's authentic Cuban cuisine.
Versailles.
We'll see if we see Al Pacino.
I heard he eats there all the time.
Fingers crossed.
So poor Eddie, just thinking he's got it going on. He's like, but babe, they got s'more pancakes.
Which, by the way, is really good. I'm not going to
s'more pancakes.
Have you had that? Have you had it?
I can't even believe another person acknowledged those. Like, I have a s'more obsession.
I love s'mores. Snores and s'mores. I love snoring.
Snores and s'mores?
I eat s'mores. No, yeah. Well, IHOP had I think it was 58 cents pancake special not too long ago.
58.
And I live
very specific.
Well, 58 or something.
Was that how many years they've been around?
Something like that.
I hope so.
25 or something. It was like it had something to do. It was like, significant in some way.
What does that come out to?
I have no idea. But every single pancake was on sale for that much, and
you were like,
I was just stuffing my pancake.
So in other words,
that's where I discovered s'mores.
You'd be on the dinner date with Eddie.
You would still be there.
Oh, I totally would be there.
I mean, look, I'd be on wherever Eddie want to go. I'm going. Sure would.
Totally. And he's buying me pancakes the next day.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right, but so Tiffany says, she was in here
we're taking a turn. Let's get back.
Tiffany says, okay, whatever, fine. Like, I'll just take care of the limo, and you just bring your credit card.
I'll take care of the limo.
I'm trying to remember when I had a credit card because I'm like, it definitely was not in high school.
After high school. It was like 18. Okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
I turned 18 and then got bombarded with here.
Yeah, but I think that...
Do you want free swag? Yeah. All of a sudden, now you have a credit card. Wait, what? I just wanted a t-shirt.
It was a $5,000 credit limit that I don't know how to spend.
I just wanted a Red Sox hat.
And then I just went on to a trip in Europe. No, but one of the things I think ESOS does is bring up this class thing because there's more privileged kids on the show than other kids. Like I think being the mother, like Godman, the one who plays Eddie's mom, just seeing her situation and like also then seeing the Tiffany character and even my character, is a little bit more resourceful and so I think has a little bit more of that middle class, So, but then I think that definitely shows that whole
It's not it shows that it says nothing. It goes beyond race. It's really
But they all can still relate on so many levels, but at the same time not.
Yeah.
Right,
At all.
Yeah.
You want to take me to IHOP?
Yeah.
Please.
Gina gets a little jealous because she finds out that Eddie's getting a stretch Hummer, which I'm like, what year is this?
Yeah. I was just going to say, that's so,
do you remember when 2000s. Hummers were, the thing,
ish? Yeah. It's eco-friendly, people.
Yeah.
Does it have a sun panel roof?
Well, now it's
like a hybrid Hummer? An H squared?
Is there?
Is there a hybrid Hummer?
Wait, I feel like there's a hybrid Hummer. Is that what the square is? Because there is an H square. I don't know if that square means
I just
hybrid.
made that up. I didn't know if that was a thing.
H2, yeah. That is
Is that what that is?
Oh, no.
H2.
Let us know in the comments below.
Jinx.
So we get to Bomb Squad practice. Shout out to Enrique Iglesias. Bailando. Gina and Eddie getting a little extra practice in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was really...
Yeah.
I thought they were going to dislocate something. They were in it.
Dislocate with Eddie anytime. Gina hates Valentine's Day, and Tiffany brings her a cookie.
That was sweet.
It was sweet, but also like
Get it?
running for president shade. Like, hey girl,
Running for president. I'm being PC.
what are you doing tonight? Just staying home. That's cute. Here's a cookie.
I know you're staying at home.
I'm gonna be at IHOP with my man,
Having some more pancakes.
having s'mores.
Can we go to IHOP after this?
Yeah, I'm
Can we
gonna
just
get a
do
cookie.
that?
I mean,
There's got to be gluten-free
Yeah, let's do
pancakes.
that.
We'll periscope it for you guys.
Yeah.
All right, so Tiffany tells Eddie to buy her something. So she's at dance practice, and all of a sudden these carnations come, and she's like, "Oh my God, who bought these for me?" And
I
Eddie's
know.
like, "Well, you told me to."
Yeah. Tiffany.
And then
Nice
she gets mad
character.
that they're carnations. Which
Isn't that the thing you buy? Well, you buy
in high
roses.
school, but in high school, I feel like okay.
That's
is
the
this
thing you wear
on
and
the
the
East
theme.
Coast though. But on the East Coast, I don't know if this is different for out here. In high school, they would do this thing where you could get. They had different colored carnations,
Right.
and you could send them to people
like
in
pink,
the high
white,
school.
and red, right?
And each color meant something different. Did they ever do that in your high
They
school?
did that in my high school.
Mine,
But you grew up on the East Coast,
Yeah,
right?
I'm from New
I
Jersey,
really
yeah.
think it's an
You
East
think
Coast
it's an
thing
East
because
Coast
I've talked to a couple people here. They're like,
No.
"That sounds crazy."
it was
I'm
like lollipops or something. Here, secret
Lollipops?
admirer. I don't know.
Oh
It
no!
wasn't
I did a
like-
lollipop one too.
Okay.
The real nice gourmet ones, right?
It was
She's like, no, it's
like,
like the dollar store.
I think they made it from the like one of the clubs.
I didn't
like
have that
Palmer's
experience.
lollipop.
I didn't have gourmet lollipops
I
in high
never
school,
got
but we
one.
did have. Yeah, maybe they did have it in my high school. And I just never got one.
I'm gonna get one on East Los High though.
You should. Everyone should.
We need Carnation Day on East Los High.
Reincarnate Carnation Day.
No, I'm just agreeing with you that probably is an East Coast thing because I remember that every single Valentine's Day, seeing
Yeah, I
all the
know.
people getting carnations.
Different
and I
colors.
never
I'm gonna be
got
like, I got.
I would get the white one.
Yep, I
from
got
my
a lot
teacher.
of.
Because no one ever.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Just like
Just
here
it's
you go,
totally
puppy.
pure.
It's okay.
It's like white
Yeah.
is friendship,
Going.
yellow
Yeah.
is happiness, and it's like, what the fuck?
If someone
is-
gave me yellow carnation.
I got a yellow carnation. I was
I would be
like,
like,
can I
what?
get a fucking red one? Like, nobody wants
That's
to
so
sleep with
sad.
me. Yeah, that's why I lost my virginity when I was 19.
That's
Wait,
why.
is it like?
Yeah, because I only got yellow carnation.
Oh, okay.
Guys, these are
There's an
jokes.
inappropriate
Yeah, I
joke
get
there
it.
somewhere, but I'll save that for Robert.
I'll tell you it after the show. So, all right, Felly says to, well, after Tiffany gives her the cookie, Felly comes over to Gina and says, girl, like, he has a girl. Like, you're being, basically being like, you're thirsty. Like,
Yeah.
you need to have some self-respect. And then whore Santi screams, yo, Felly! And she's like, yeah?
Yeah.
And runs over. Self-respect, huh?
Which
I
I'm like,
I
first
like
of
that
all,
scene.
I liked it, but I'm like, it's none of your business, really. I mean, she's not really hurting anybody except for the people
And
involved.
didn't
So
Tiffany
it's
sleep with my ex-boyfriend?
Exactly. You're a hypocrite.
Ooh.
But
See?
also,
Saying.
we see Felly, what type of girl Felly is, honey. She Felly, little fast Felly.
That's Felly. You're just on it today. You're just on it. You came here on a good day.
You did, because my brain is
Yeah,
fried right
you're
now,
a
so
good
whatever's coming out, hopefully it makes sense, because, y'all, this heat got me. So we get to the Valentine's Day assembly with the bomb squad, and this was an amazing, was like, did it for me, because I love the bomb squad for their, I'm gonna say it, their cheesiness, because
Yeah.
the first season was like watching like
A car crash, almost.
see, I gotta be careful with my references, but yeah, exactly. I felt like I was watching the movie Crash,
Yeah.
and but it was good, without Jesse, But then season 2 slowly got
You're
better.
just campaigning. You're lobbying
Yeah,
to
you're
be
like, oh, get me in.
a bomb squatter, right?
No.
Can we
What?
just?
Jesse Jenny does not need to be on the
Okay,
bomb.
we can work on a routine or something.
I think I would love to see you as a part of the
The
bomb.
after bomb, no.
After bomb squad.
I would be like
bomb
the
squad.
after bomb squad.
Turn the lights off.
We only perform Beyonce songs
Yeah.
In the dark.
I don't
with
know.
openings from Britney.
Brittany, rest in peace.
Don't do it. That's a different show for another day. Because I'm a stan.
Okay.
Old school Brittany, I mean.
All right, so
Yeah, old school.
She's not.
they do the bailando dance, and it was really cute. And at the end, Eddie almost kisses Gina.
Almost doesn't count.
And it doesn't count, because then at the end of that, they go outside. And I'm just side-eyeing Eddie like, where'd they do that at? Because Eddie's out there with his arm around Gina for like the last 10 minutes. It's like, do you want to go hug your girl? Because do you remember you have a girl? You know what I mean? Like, I just have this cheating thing. I hate, like, if you with this one person, what you doing over there? And I just felt like, I get that you like Gina, but stop, like, whatever you're doing with Tiffany.
Right.
Just
Before
stop it.
Yeah.
And he allowed Tiffany, because Tiffany caught that little that little slide of the hand.
If you want to get under someone, you got to get over the old one first.
Yes. Let's put that on a calendar.
Let's do it.
Don't get under. Don't get under them.
Don't get under them. The best way, I think the saying goes, the best way to get over someone is to get under someone new. I think that's the saying.
Yep.
But I kind of switched it up.
No, I like that. Yours was more positive and didn't recommend for anyone to sleep with anybody.
I'm like, do arts. Go out with your friends.
Play bowling.
Yeah.
They're codependent.
Whatever happened to we?
They're so codependent. Oh man, they're so codependent though. Like they can't live without each other. They're just so in love.
They're so in love.
Yeah. That's what happens in the bomb squad.
Yeah.
All the sweat that happens.
Kind of thing.
Stick to each other.
Those kids and hormones, just crazy. All right, so Tiffany's like, I just feel like we need to find people who like understand us, and like right now, I just think that's me. And I totally agree with you, Tiffany.
Because you understand yourself better than than I do, than anyone on this panel.
You understand Tiffany.
I mean, I love you, Tiffany. Okay. Tiffany is one of my favorites because she's a special girl. And then Eddie ends up showing up at Gina's door with like the 99-cent Russell Stover heart, which is cute because it's like, this is all I have.
It's the thought that counts.
John Legend, I thought they were going to play me. It wasn't in the budget this season. Next season.
As she opens the box.
Okay, let's talk about a horror moment. Felly wants to hang out with Santi, but he can't. He's like, sorry, boo. Hanging out with Mandy.
Yeah.
And Fast Felly, she was just like,
peer pressure.
How can I make this work for me?
For me, yeah. She works in her own self-interest. Like, she doesn't.
What if I fucked you and her at the same time?
Yeah.
Santi was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You set that up, because if I ask her, she's going to slap me.
Right.
So you go ask her. Apparently Mandy had no problem. Mandy was
that was. I thought that was kind of like she just.
I would have liked a facial expression like
some surprise. She's like, yes, I'll do that. Yes,
tonight,
right now.
Because Mandy, you already had him. Yeah. Mandy already had him.
I guess she still wants it.
She was like, yeah, I guess Three's Company. Let's do it.
Three's Company.
Yeah, that was very funny. Yeah, she was just on it. To be on it. She's on it to be on it. I'm not my best.
No, it was cute though.
Okay.
It was cute.
So Ceci looking at
Ceci.
Poor Ceci. She was looking at pictures of Pedro tonight. I was like,
don't do it, girl. Don't do it.
Crazy stalker. And Vanessa, because it's Valentine's Day, says, look, Ceci, you and your play date need to be out of the house because my boyfriend Tyrone is coming over tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And as she's setting up for her dinner date, it was sad. Tyrone hits her up with the HIV thing ain't gonna work out for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it was just dinner.
And that's
and now we know where your mind is at, Tyrone.
Exactly.
That's another example.
So wrong.
Just to get a little serious for a second, that's another example of how, even in a subtle way, East Los injects those narratives that are so grounded in reality, because there's the stigmatization of people with HIV.
Yep.
Still,
like, don't touch me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't look in my direction, otherwise I'll get it. So I so appreciate that, because we're obviously hanging out and having a good time talking about the absurdity of this episode. But then all of a sudden that happens in a very subtle way, and that's why I love this show so much, because not all of it is like, you walk across the street and get hit by a bus. Like, some of it is a little more subtle, but still effective.
Yeah, I mean, this is real, obvious. Like, people, the face of HIV changes over the years too, and it's like this whole PrEP thing. People like, it's like actually more people are actually getting, infected with HIV, even though, but there's still that stigma. Even though there's like this great advancement and people are more accepting, there is that like, ooh, but when we want to date or we want to do, and it's not like, and that's why people don't, disclose, like, and a lot of times, because they get rejected and they get feeling like,
and it's the crazy mentality, like what people really think of it, like, oh, you cooked food, like, crazy things, like, oh my god, like we can't work out together because you'll sweat, like it's like some absurdities you just hear, and it's like, okay, please just educate yourself. So I love that this show does it, like you said, in a subtle way, but I don't know if the depth of it's interesting now because I'm trying to see the way they write the stories, because they do such a good balancing, right? But as you said, this was subtle. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was really that subtle, because in the flip side of it, we went from Vanessa crying to now the other flip side is Ceci in a domestic situation again, where she's getting these flowers at the diner, or getting a silver bracelet or something that said forever. Yeah. Forever. And then he's standing outside with a rose. And I'm like, girl, don't you have a cell phone? Call the police. Like, she's just like... she's frazzled. She doesn't know what to do. I'm like, it's true. There's so many layers to that, just like those last few moments in this episode, that it's just so mind-boggling to me. Like,
and that's the thing. It's like a lot of times in DV and domestic violence, like, situations, a lot of times the people who are in them have experienced it somehow. So it's like a repetitive, like, experience. And so it's like almost like an emergency hits or something, and you're like, I don't know, I froze. I don't know what to do. It's like when something triggers you sometimes, you're like... And then you're doing the thing that you didn't even think you would do. And you're like, what? Dang.
Well, oftentimes you may, I won't speak for every person who's been abused. I would assume that sometimes that's probably because they may not have worked through it, and it's a very traumatic thing. And so, when triggers happen, your body just automatically goes into what's familiar in that situation. So it's sad. But again, I'm so happy that this show is tackling that and doing it in the way that it does. And it's such a credit to the writers. They're definitely so talented, super smart people.
Very much.
And showing that, like, here's this girl, but nobody's letting her be alone. In it, you know what I mean? To show that people, because it's more, she doesn't want help, but other people are noticing things. Support. And I love that. All right, Karen, well, what do you have going on? Where can fans follow you and check out your latest new projects?
Yes. Okay, well, you can find me on Twitter. So it's my first and last name, Karen Anzotegui.
You guys can check the spelling below.
Yes. And on Instagram, it's Said in the City, SERINTHECITY. Did I spell right? Yes. And it's Said because of my other solo show. And Facebook, you can just find me, with my name. And I'm going to be doing something soon, so I'll be, releasing that information probably tomorrow or next week.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
Okay.
And I have a solo show coming up as well. So I'm doing it October 2nd through the 4th at Human Resources Los Angeles, which is in Chinatown.
What's it about? What's the theme of this?
Catholic School Days. So it tackles faith and queerness.
Oh, cool.
Raised Catholic, and I went to Catholic high school, so it's my high school experience. But I play this really positive, like confident, queer, openly queer, character, Daisy Cantu. But my actual high school experience was the opposite. So I was persecuted for being queer before I even knew I was queer. So it's that whole story of how that took place and how it traumatized me and how I was able to overcome it. And so. It's called Catholic School Days, DAZE.
Well, I hope we see more of you on East Los, because I feel like you're a Power Ranger in the world. You're here to save the world. So thank you for coming queerness, through. Yes.
Like, we're beyond
individuality.
Like, because I like how it does that. Like, it brings up the queer character, the queer, relationship, possibly what's going on with this person and this person? We'll see what's going on over here. And then you have later down the line, you hear, well, then, Santi is, wanting to hook up with, and so we get to see, different sides of what sexuality is, what gender could be. So I'm really excited to see what this could explore, and especially the next episodes coming up. So, and on eastlosthigh.com, you can see 3 more episodes of me and Jocelyn. So it's really nice episodes, and it's out with Jocelyn and Daisy on eastlosthigh.com. So check them out because they're really awesome.
Okay, we'll have to for sure.
Julian, where can everyone follow you?
You can find me everywhere at Julian Dujarric, across the board: Facebook, Twitter, social, everything.
send him nudes. And you guys can hit me up at DJ Jesse J. And also make sure you guys follow us at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And check us out on iTunes. Subscribe and give us 5 stars and a rating. We'd really appreciate it. Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.